What's going on, guys? My name is Aaron, and earlier this year I spent 3 weeks traveling the stunning country that is Morocco, and in today's video I'm going to share with you all of my best tips and advice for traveling Morocco along with the perfect route. So I would imagine the majority of you are either going to start your time in Morocco in either Marrakech or Fez, and for me, it was Marrakech. One of the first challenges you are going to face when you arrive in Morocco is haggling and dealing with the taxi drivers. And my advice for that is simply don't bother. Both at the Marrakech and Fez airports there is an airport shuttle service that you can take. It's just essentially a shuttle bus and it's very time effective and it's a lot cheaper. Or you can arrange a prepaid transport service, which is what I done, for just €10, and it's pretty much the exact same price that you will get out of a taxi without the hassle of haggling.
Oh, it's 150, it's okay.
150?
I just verified. Medina just...
Wait, I was here 2 days ago, paid 40.
Oh, just do this too.
I was literally here 2 days ago, paid 40 from the hostel to here.
One hand, that is okay.
No chance, no chance.
Most of them will also take you straight to your riad or hotel door, which was perfect for me as I arrived quite late at night. I believe it was like 11 o'clock at night, half 11 at night. In a new country, you don't want to try and be found in your hotel at that time of night on your own. Once you have arrived at your accommodation and settled in, it's time to explore everything that Marrakech has to offer. I personally recommend that you spend 2 days initially exploring Marrakech, as the likelihood is you will revisit Marrakech later on in your trip, which I'll get to in just a moment. The main attraction in Marrakech is the square. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I'll probably offend some people and I'll just get the pronunciation completely wrong, but the main square, you would have seen tons of pictures and videos from there. The markets will definitely give you a sense of culture shock if you've never had one before, but if you are used to things like that, then you'll fit right in, and it is quite a sight to see, and you'll get some of the nicest food and cafes around there in Marrakech. Marrakech also has quite a couple of unique things that you can see, including the Koutoubia Mosque, the Ben Youssef Mosque, and a load of gardens which you can all go and visit. Obviously, if you're non-Muslim, you can't actually go inside of the mosques, but if you're like me, you can actually take a look outside, and some of the architecture is absolutely stunning. However, one of my favourite things to do in Marrakech is just to chill out and hang out, mix with the locals at the rooftop bars, and one of my favourite ones was Café des Spices, I believe it was called, and another one is Café Kith, I believe that's the pronunciation. You'll find them very, very easily as they are right in the centre by the market in Marrakech. Next up, I recommend you hop on a bus heading towards the Merzouga desert, which is heading east from Marrakech. Where you stop along the way is up to you, but I do have a couple of recommendations for you guys. So I personally recommend stopping at Tinghir, Merzouga, and then Ouarzazate on the way back. Again, if I've pronounced them wrong, I do apologise. I am trying my best with these. But first off, Tinghir is a small desert town on the way to the Merzouga desert, but it does have one amazing, incredible hidden gem that you have to check out, which is the Todra Gorge. If you do visit, be prepared for a long day of hiking, potentially getting sunburned, but the views at the top are absolutely worth it, 100%, and you'll be seeing some of them on screen right now. You definitely have to check that out if you do stop there. 1 or 2 days in Tinghir is definitely enough, as apart from the gorge, there's not that much to do, but it is a nice place to relax, and one of the hostels that I stayed at that will be on screen for you now was a very, very relaxing place. The hosts were very, very welcoming, and it was just a nice place to chill out for a few days. But once you are finished, I do recommend you head straight over to Merzouga, which is the gateway to the Sahara desert. So if you want to do some camel riding, you want to stay in some desert camps, this is the place to do it. Unfortunately, I didn't visit because I did actually get severely sunburnt in Tinghir, and I thought 3 days in the desert with no shade at all probably isn't the best idea, but the Merzouga desert is definitely the one thing you have to do if you do visit Morocco in the future. Now, on your way back to Marrakech from Merzouga, it's going to be a 12 or 13 hour bus ride, so I do actually recommend you make a stop off, as I mentioned before, at Ouarzazate. And again, it's just another small desert town. It's actually close to the Zagora desert, so if you fancy visiting there, you can go and check that out. But what I actually visited for, there are actually quite a number of film studios in the town which were quite interesting to go and visit. I actually only spent one day there, but it was a nice stop off and I got to see some unique sights at the film studio. If you're not into that, then I would actually probably recommend skipping this one out, but if you are into films or you want to go and visit the Zagora Desert, then make the stop off there on your way back to Marrakech. Now the next step I made was again another bus. These will be a theme throughout Morocco. I take pretty much buses everywhere apart from when I head up north, but I'll touch on that at the end. So the next bus I actually took was a 12 to 13 hour bus from Ouarzazate straight to Agadir and then on to Taghazout, but I do not recommend you guys doing that. It was a very, very long day in, I think it was 36-degree heat, so it wasn't pleasant at all. I do recommend you stop off at Marrakech, spend the night there, just chill out again, and then go again to Agadir the next day. Before we carry on to Agadir and Taghazout though, I do want to let you know that my Morocco travel guide is now available on my website, and whether you have some unanswered questions or you want to know about Morocco in a lot more detail, then this guide completely has you covered. This guide covers 18 different topics, including information on visas, vaccines, when to visit, where to visit, and budgeting advice for whilst you're in Morocco, and it's all just for $3.99. And the best thing about it is optimized for mobile use, so when you're actually traveling in Morocco you can have it downloaded to your phone offline and you can just refer back to it if you want some of the best information on traveling Morocco. So go and check that out. The link will be down below in the description and my website will be on screen right now. Anyway, next up is a 3.5 hour bus ride to the city of Agadir, and you can actually stop in Agadir. I had a couple of hours there, but you could spend maybe a night or two there if you actually want to, but I actually moved further down the coast to a small coastal town that not many people have heard of called Taghazout. It's a 30-minute public bus ride, and this was probably one of my highlights of my time in Morocco. Thank you.
Bon appétit.
Merci. Taghazout has a completely different vibe compared to the rest of Morocco and the places you will visit. It's a small coastal town with just a very, very chilled out vibe. There's literally one road that runs through it and there are tons of cafes, restaurants and stuff like that you can just hang out, and there's a lot of foreigners who surf there or maybe potentially live there. It's one of my favourite places in Morocco. You can't sleep on this place. You've got to go there if you do visit Morocco. So once you've spent a couple of days chilling out in Taghazout, it's time to head further north up the coast on a 2-hour bus ride to the amazing city of Essaouira. Before you actually get to Essaouira though, if you read anything online, you will believe that you actually have to get the bus back to Agadir before you can get another bus further up north to Essaouira. So you essentially have to go back on yourself to carry on going further up north, which is just not true. The best way to do it is literally there's one main roundabout in Taghazout. Head to there, wait maybe 15 minutes, you'll see a bus come past, put your arm out and they will be going to Essaouira because it is just one road straight there, and you'll pay around 50 to 60 dirham for the bus journey, especially if you've got a backpack, and it's very, very simple, but that information just doesn't seem to be online anywhere, so you've just learned a nice little tip there. And once you arrive in Essaouira, you will realise what all the hype is about. For such a large city, it has so many cool, calming places just to chill out, and it's completely different to Fez and Marrakech. My favourite place in Essaouira is Café l'Esprit, and honestly if you go there you just have to visit this place. The owner of this place is probably the friendliest person I've ever met, not just in Morocco, travelling in general. He was so accommodating to me, and he actually showed me some incredible pictures. Ask him if you do go to show him the incredible pictures he has of Essaouira going back hundreds of years. Such a nice place to just chill out. Apart from chilling out at the cafe though, there are loads of things to see in Essaouira, but my favourite thing, which you've probably seen in the vlogs by now, is the sunset. This place has one of the best sunsets that I've seen whilst travelling. It's incredible. Once you've had a few days in Essaouira, guess where we're going next? It's back to Marrakech, but this should be for the last time. You can actually just get a bus straight from Essaouira to Marrakech, and it takes around 3.5 to 4.5 hours, depending on how many stops they make and how busy it is, and it'll cost around 60 to 70 dirham on the bus. And once again, I recommend you spend a night in Marrakech because the next day we're actually going to be taking a train up north. So I personally got the 9 o'clock train from Marrakech to Fez, which takes 6.5 hours. If you actually want to stop off at Casablanca or Rabat, you can do so because the train does pass through both of them major cities. However, as I said, I went straight from Marrakech to Fez, and that's where we're going to be going next.
Yeah guys, welcome to Fez.
The The second you arrive in Fez, you will realise it's completely different to Marrakech, because pretty much everything is within the Medina walls, and all you need to find is somewhere among the 9,000 streets that the Medina has, which you only really get a sense of how big the Medina actually is from one of the best places in Fez, which is the lookout point, which you'll be seeing right now. If you can look past the chaos of the Medina in Fez, then you'll actually find some quite amazing places, including the oldest university in the world and the world famous tanneries, which I was very, very thankful that I actually got a tour from the guys at the hostel around there, and they were quite some sights to see. Now, there is one more destination that I recommend you guys go and visit, and that is Chefchaouen. I personally didn't actually get to go there. It's the famous blue city in Morocco, but due to the pandemic I couldn't go and I had to change my plans and head back to Marrakech. But if you do get to go there, it's just further up north from Fez. You can spend a couple of days in what looks to be an amazing city. I am really gutted I didn't get to go, and then you can head back to Fez and fly out from Fez as your time in Morocco will be up, or you can head up north, maybe fly out from a city further up north, or catch the ferry over to Malaga in Spain. And just like that, you have spent 3 to 4 weeks in Morocco, and the time will go so fast traveling this amazing country, because there are so many different things that you will see along the way, from the desert to the beaches to the chaos of the major cities and the Medinas. It's an incredible country, and I hope you guys do get to go and travel it someday. And if you want to know even more specific details, including like pricing, specific times of buses, which bus companies I went with, and all that stuff, you can head over to my blog, where I have done a full blog post on how to travel Morocco. As I said, I go into so much more detail in there. But if you did find this video useful, please be sure to let me know by leaving a like. If you are from Morocco or you plan on visiting Morocco, let me know down in the comments if I missed anything and how bad my pronunciations were. Don't go too harsh on that though. And if you are new around here, please be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Morocco content coming very, very soon. But thank you all for watching. Until next time, goodbye.